Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am talking all things sleep with babies and how we sleep trained our babies. But before we get into it, I do want to make mention that I have a cold, so my voice is a little raspy. I'm very nasally, so I'm sorry if this is annoying, but it is what it is, and I had to get this video out to you guys. If you hear some baby noises in the background, Micah is in his jumper and he's smiling at me. But we are going to go ahead and get started on this video. Okay, so with sleep, I have learned a lot from my first to my second, and some things I have done differently, some things I have done the same. So with Selah, we started out sleep training at 12 weeks old, and it was out of desperation for sleep. I was not sleeping well. She was in the bed with us. My back was killing me because I was having to make sure that I didn't roll over on her. I did a lot of side nursing, so trying to make sure that she didn't smother while she was breastfeeding, and then I'm leaning like this. You know, wasn't the ideal situation. Now, at least for me, if you love sleeping with your babies, you do it. You do you. I am not against anything. I feel like parenthood is a personal way of dealing life. Okay, so don't think that anything that I say is something that you absolutely have to do. This is just some tips and tricks that I have tried and have worked for me. So at 12 weeks, we started Baby Wise. Baby Wise is often known as the cried out method, which I don't really think, after reading the book, I don't really feel like that is exactly what it is. But it is pretty much getting your baby on an eat, wake, sleep schedule. And this helped me tons, not just with her sleep, but it helped me figure out why she was crying. I don't know about you guys, but I still rarely know. I mean, I know now that Micah's older, and of course now that Selah is older, but with their cries, when they're first newborns, they cry over everything. If they're sleepy, they cry. If they're hungry, they cry. If they're dirty, they cry. So how are you supposed to tell a difference? I didn't know. So once I got her on this eat, wake, sleep cycle, I knew exactly what was wrong with her, because when she woke up, it meant she was hungry. If it was not time for her nap, then she was probably dirty. And then if it was close to her nap and she was crying, then she was sleepy. It was so much simpler for me. That was the very first thing that we did, was eat, wake, sleep cycle. And I learned too that as newborns, they can be awake for about 30 to 45 minutes before they start getting sleepy. So even though it doesn't seem like it's been that long, they're probably tired. And then as they get older, that wake time kind of stretches out and they're awake longer. So you can kind of tell once they start getting fussy that it's time for them to nap again. Right now, Micah is 6 months old, and we are transitioning from 3 naps to 2 naps. And the Baby Wise book kind of talks about each phase that they go through. And one of those is they start out as newborns taking about 4 naps a day, 4 to 5 naps a day. And then as 3 to 5 months, it's about 3 naps a day. And then from 6 to 9 to 12 months, it's about 2 naps a day. And then as they get older, 1 and above, they go down to 1 nap a day. So this is just a gradual progression, and your kid will probably start showing signs of taking maybe a longer stretch of a nap and then not really wanting to nap again until later. So that's something that you can look for. I also learned to start putting my babies down while they were awake and not rocking them or nursing them to sleep. Now, I'm not going to say that I never rock them to sleep or never nurse them to sleep anymore, but for the majority of the time, 90% of the time, they go down when it's their nap time. Maybe not completely awake, they're fussy and tired and sleepy, but they are not completely asleep. So this is helping them to learn to fall asleep on their own. Now, some people, and this was me, you put your baby down and they start crying, and you just want to pick them back up and kind of, soothe them, and you lay them back down and they start crying again. So this is what I did. I am not against letting my baby cry for a little while. I feel like it's just natural for them to cry. It's actually good for their lungs, especially when they are newborns, to get that mucus out that they have had in their lungs. So letting them cry for a little bit is not that big of a deal to me. You can stay in the room with them. I prefer to lay my baby down, give them a kiss, and then walk out of the room and give them 2 to 3 minutes to kind of self-soothe. Now, a lot of times if they're really sleepy and overtired, it may take them a lot longer, and I'll end up having to go back in every 3 to 4 minutes and give a passy, resettle, and start over. But if I put them down like right at their nap time, or maybe even just a little bit before, to where they have a little bit of calm time to kind of like calm themselves down, then typically it's a little bit easier for me to lay them down. So I always do like the same routine. Now, when they are newborns up until about 3 months old, I either do a swaddle or we've done a sleep sack before. This just kind of like, with that routine, they know, okay, it's nap time, I'm ready to go to sleep. As far as crying and like the length of time that I allow my babies to cry is about a minute per week old that they are. As a newborn, I didn't really let them cry that much. It was probably about 4 or 5 weeks where I started like 4 minutes of, letting them kind of do it themselves, self-soothe. Sometimes like you lay them down and it's kind of like, wah, wah, and then you don't hear anything else from them. So I feel like sometimes if I would rush in as soon as I heard them make a noise, it would kind of just ruin that self-soothing period, and I was having to start back over. So if I would just give them a little bit of time to close their eyes, fall asleep, then it was a lot easier for them to fall asleep. Another thing that has helped us with their sleep training is a routine. And just like I talked about a second ago, keeping everything the same. So for me, I like to lay my babies down in their bed and turn their sound machine on. I either put them in their swaddle if they're at that age, or I put a small blanket over their legs. I know that they don't recommend that until they're a year old, but it's worked for me. We just do it up to their belly and then lay it down. Even when he's rolled over, it's not been an issue for us. Like I said, you do you. If you're scared of that, don't do it. If you're comfortable with it like I am, do it. So we do the blanket, and then I make sure that the room is dark every time, and I walk out of the room. I tell them I love them, I give them a kiss, tell them it's nap time, and I walk out of the room. So at bedtime, they have a little bit of a different routine. It is bath time, change their diaper, put their PJs on, they eat. Well, Micah eats, Selah already eats supper, but Micah will nurse, and then he usually has a bottle because I'm trying to like really fill him up before the night. And then I will rock him a little bit, turn off his light. He has a little side lamp that we use. It's very dim. I try to keep all of the lights very dim in the evening, and I will turn his sound machine on, and it's just like a white noise sound machine. It really helps to drown out some of the outside noise. We have dogs in our neighborhood that like to bark all night long, so we really have to have sound machines in our room. But I'll turn his sound machine on, and I will lay him down. I'll say his prayers. Sometimes I'll sing him a song depending on if he's still awake or not. A lot of times by the end of his bottle, he's, like rubbing his eyes and can hardly keep his eyes open. So I will kiss him goodnight, tell him I love him, pull up his blanket, and walk out of the room. And most of the nights, he goes right to sleep on his own. Oh, my babies do take a passy. I am like a big component of the passy. It was a little bit difficult to break Selah from at 18 months, but for those first 18 months, it was worth it. So I definitely recommend the passy. One of the things that I recently figured out or found out about is the 45-minute intruder and a way to kind of fix it. So the 45-minute intruder is when your baby is supposed to be taking like an hour and a half to 2 hour naps, and at 45 minutes they kind of wake up and then we'll go back to sleep. That one's really hard for me because I take nap times to get things done, and I want to be, able to play with my kids during their wake time or feed them or whatever it is. And so while they're napping, I really need that time to clean the house or get work done or get myself ready, whatever it is. So 45 minutes is not enough time to get that stuff done. So what I found out the other day is if you go in about 25 minutes or 30 minutes after they have been asleep, and you just like gently rub their face or rub their back, enough to make them stir but not wake up, it kind of resets their sleep pattern. So it kind of like wakes them up a little bit, restarts that sleep cycle, and it can kind of help them get through that 45-minute nap on into like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So try that, let me know if it works. A few other things that we try to do personally is we try not to let our kids be around screens or really bright lights closer to bedtime. This seems to help kind of calm them down and get their melatonin production to be producing right before they go to bed, so that they fall asleep a little bit faster and they seem to sleep longer when we do that as well. I hope these tips have helped you. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any other tips so that we can help other mothers out. I know that when you are going through life without sleep, it is very difficult. Your fuse is short, and yeah, it's really hard to get through a day when you have had little to no sleep, especially days upon days or nights upon nights of no sleep. So let's help each other out. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click subscribe if you are new here. I would love to have you stick around, and I always answer you guys' comments in the comment section. So if you guys have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.